Hi everyone, this is Cody W3AMG with Bridgecom Systems, and today we're having a live stream and going to give you guys some free training and show you how to program your 878UVII Plus radio completely from the radio itself, as opposed to having to use a computer or other means to program it. You can actually do everything for the most part through the radio itself, which is real handy. If you don't have a computer or if you're out in the field, there's a lot of reasons you'd want to do this. We've covered this before and we're going to cover it again to make sure every one of you guys has the opportunity to learn this. Now, just a few quick announcements before we get started. We are giving away in this live stream a brand new 878 Plus radio, one of these right here, awesome little radios. We're going to be giving one of these away to one of you lucky winners. So make sure you sign up for the giveaway. It should be in the description, and we are going to do it here live, so you do have to be present to win, so stick around till the end. If you're not there, we'll call another winner, so you definitely want to be present for that. But you have a great opportunity to win one of these radios. And then also want to let you guys know the start of the summer giveaway is still going on. It ends this Sunday, so if you haven't signed up for that, there's over, I think, like $2,500 worth of ham radio gear in that, so really great giveaway if you were to win that. So make sure to sign up for that giveaway if you haven't already. And then one final announcement. Today's actually the last day of our Get It Before Father's Day sale, so make sure you take advantage of that. They're actually doing some awesome offers on these bundles, like the starter packs and the Ham Shack packs. There's like $100 off of some of them or more. So make sure you take a look at that. Take advantage of those great deals, especially if you have fathers. They really appreciate that ham radio gear as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the radios. So I've completely reinitialized my radio here. So I'm going to move this one out of the way, and we're going to start with a completely fresh radio. So we'll go ahead and boot it up here. Now the first step is to go find our frequency information and all of the information we will need to program in the radio. And actually, you know what? I almost forgot. Let's do some shout outs real quick. How about that? Let's see. We have a Stephen Morton from Tacoma, Washington, AD7AB. Good morning, Stephen. Thomas Roy, KF5WRO from Oklahoma. Good morning, Thomas. How are you? We have a Jim VE7HUR. Awesome, from British Columbia, Canada. Good to see you, Jim. Justin, KI5 PDO, Louisiana. Morning, Justin. James Katie, N8JVC, Southwest Michigan, 73. Awesome. We got a Toby Bailey, KN6CFW here in San Diego. Steve, KD2SEE. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for coming. It's a great opportunity for you to learn more about your radio. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to jump over to our computer and do a little bit of research. Now, if you don't have a computer, this is totally fine. You can get this information word of mouth or from friends who have radios. This is just the way we're going to obtain it today. So first, I'm going to go to repeaterbook.com and get our repeater information. So you just want to go to your local area, so in this case, North America. And then we can locate whatever the closest and best repeater is for us. So we're going to go to Missouri. So we're just north of Kansas City here. And this site is awesome. They've got a bunch of different filters. We're not affiliated, but I do enjoy their site. There we go. We'll close out of this. And I'm just going to filter by DMR. There we go. Perfect. And you can scroll down through all of these, but what I like to do is just do a Control F and then search for whatever repeater we're looking for. In this case, KCI. And then if you click on the frequency information over here on the left, that will actually open up a whole nother section like this. And now we can see all of the information we need. So there's a few vital pieces of information we need to collect. So we need the uplink frequency, the downlink frequency, the color code, as well as the time slot. Now, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find the time slot. Now here we can see in the notes, it says use time slot 1 for all other Brandmeister talk groups. So that's what we're looking for. So I've got that written down here. We have our uplink frequency, our color code 4, and our time slot 1 all written down. So we have that, we're good to go. Now, just to explain real quick what uplink and downlink are, for those of you who are not familiar, it's really quite simple. I like to visualize things. I'm a very visual person, so think of it, you know, the repeater is always up high on a tower, typically. Typically, there's a high point, and the radio typically is, you know, you on the ground somewhere. It's the low point. So uplink is going to be going up to the repeater, so that means from the radio to the repeater, and downlink is from the repeater down to the radio. So if you're looking at it in the eyes of the radio, uplink is going to be transmit, and downlink is going to be receive, and vice versa. So we've got them written down here. So let's go and get the other information we might need. So if you know what your radio ID is, that's great. We can skip this. But just in case you don't, it's a good idea to find out. So we can go to radioid.net. And if you have a call sign but you've forgotten what your radio ID is, this is where you do that. And you would just go to database. Now, if you don't actually have one yet, you can actually get one from here. They issue them real quick, and you can, let's see. So we want to go to DMR user ID search. There we go. And I'm just going to type in my call sign and hit search. And it should populate it down here. And it's real simple. We actually have a video that will explain how to get a radio ID if you don't already have one. So there's my call sign and my ID. So I've got that information written down. And now we just need a little bit more information for the talk groups that we want to talk on. So we have the repeater, but we need to find our DMR or Brandmeister talk groups. So if we just do a Google search real quick. Let's see. We'll go here. There we go, DMR talk groups. Let's see. Can't remember what site I typically use for this. Here we go. Pistar.uk, I think that's the one I typically use for this, but there's a variety of sites out there. And this is great because it has all of the talk group numbers and the names. So I want to, just for today, we'll add 3 different talk groups. We'll add the Parrot, the Missouri talk group, the local talk group here, as well as the disconnect, because you will need to have the disconnect talk group in order to basically get out of the talk group you're in. So we'll add them real quick. It'll be a great starting point. So we see the Parrot, that is the talk group ID, or the number is 9990. Perfect. And Missouri, looks like we have quite a few of them. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the actual Missouri talk group. There's a few different versions of it, but I'm going to add just a basic Missouri talk group. So our number is 3129 for that. And then let's add the disconnect talk group as well. This will allow us to disconnect from talk groups. Whenever you talk to them, that's basically how you get out of them. You key up the disconnect, and then you're out of the talk group. So that is 4,000. Now, obviously, you probably will want to add a few more. Maybe if you're just getting started, just try a few first. But I know you're going to want more eventually, so you may want to pick a few more when you're doing this. But we're going to start with this. So we have that information. I've written that down. So now we're basically done with the computer, at least for now. Or whatever means we found that information out. It doesn't have to be with a computer. You don't have to have a computer to find this out. Or if you don't have anyone to help you with the information, you could even go to the library and use their computer. I've seen people do this all kinds of different ways. So let's start with the radio now. So we've got it turned on. Now, a few things I want to do to make it just easier to use for us. I'm going to extend the background time so it doesn't always time out, as well as the menu exit time, so we have a lot more time in the menu before it times out. So to do that, just click on the menu button, go into settings, go down to settings. There we go. And we're going to go into radio set and then display function. And then from here, we can click on the light time. I'm going to make this always for this video. I usually personally keep mine at about 5 minutes. And then, let's see, channel name. We actually want to change this as well from frequency to channel. Now, if you didn't do that, what would happen is your channels would just show up as frequencies. You wouldn't be able to tell what they were called. So that's very important. And now we're also going to change the menu exit time. Just max that out to 60 seconds. And there we go. Now it's going to be a lot easier to use the radio. And with the changing that from frequency to channel, we're actually going to be able to see the channels we put in. So we're all set here. We can back out. And next, let's see, you want to go to settings and then channel set. And then scroll down here to radio ID. This is a very important step. I've seen a lot of people miss this one. You can get everything working right. It looks like it works right, but if you miss this, it won't actually work. You want to add a radio ID. We'll edit the ID. And then I've written down that number we got from radioid.net. We're going to enter that. So in this case, mine is 3152688, and then press confirm. And then we'll give it a name. So I'm just going to put, you can add whatever you want here. We'll do my name and call sign. And then you can click the pound key to change between numbers and letters. There we go. Perfect. So we're all set there. Now this information isn't critical, whatever the name is. It's really just the ID number that's critical here. So you don't have to take a lot of time on the name if you don't want to. Then we'll go ahead and hit save. Now once we've done this, we still have the first selection there. So we want to go to our new one that we've created. And inside of there, click on Option, and then select Radio ID. And that's going to populate it as the ID that we've selected in our radio, and that way we're actually going to be using it. So we're set up there. Now is a good time to add our talk groups. So we can go ahead and do that. So click on Menu, and then Talk Group, and then we have our talk group list. So I'm going to go do a new contact, and we can input the ID. Now this ID is going to be the number that we have. So we have the parrot, the Missouri, and then the disconnect. Now the only one that's going to be a private ID is the parrot, because the Missouri talk group and the disconnect are actually public talk groups. You have them as a public ID, and the majority of talk groups you'll be on are public, but the parrot is actually private. So to do a private ID, you don't have to do anything different. So we're just going to input the number, which is 9990, confirm, and then the name. We'll give it a name here. And don't be discouraged if you have trouble with these keyboards. They're slow for everyone, me included. So there we go. We've got the name in there. Perfect. But the majority of work we do on here is numbers, so I much prefer to have a number keypad than the actual keyboard. So we're all set here. We shouldn't have to input any more information. So just go ahead and click Save. There we go, saving contact. Perfect. And now if we go to our talk group list, we should be able to see it there. We do. So I'm going to go do a new contact. We'll put in our next one, input ID. Now this one, we'll do the Missouri. Now we actually want this to be public because it's a talk group. We want to actually hear other people. So to do that, you click on this pound key. Now a lot of people don't know this. This is a very crucial step. If you miss this, nothing will work. So So make sure you hit the pound key for your talk groups, unless it's something like the parrot that's actually private. And you can see that pound key will toggle between private ID and talk group ID. So this will be 3129, 3129 for our Missouri talk group. Confirm, and then input name, and we'll just make this short and simple there. Perfect. And go ahead and click Save. There we go. We're all set there. Now we're going to add one more. Input ID. Once again, we're going to switch it to talk group. And this will be our disconnect, so 4000. Confirm. And the name. Let's see. We'll just give it a name there, disk. Perfect. And go ahead and click Save. And if we click on the talk group list now, we can see all of the talk groups that we've added. So perfect. We're set there. Now, this would be a good time to make zones, but there's an interesting phenomenon when you're using the radio to program. You have to have a zone to create a channel, but you also have to have a channel to put in a zone. So luckily it comes with a zone, or else we would kind of be toast here. So what we're going to do is create our first channel and put it in the existing zone. And then if we choose to, which isn't necessary, we can create our new zone, or an additional zone if you've already done this, and then add our channels to that. So that's what we're going to do today. So to create your channel, you simply go to Menu, and then scroll down here to Settings. Perfect. And then go to Channel Set. And we don't want to hit New Channel yet. We actually want to set it up first. So make sure the channel type is set to digital, which it is. And TX power, we're going to set that on turbo since we're talking to a repeater that's a little distance away. And then we want to scroll down here to our receive and transmit frequency. So we remember the receive, in this case, is going to be the downlink since we're going down to the radio. So downlink is 444, 4625, 444, 4625, and then just hit the pound key and it will finish it for you, just like that. We've got that saved. And then transmit. We've written that down, that is 449 for the uplink. So delete that, 449, 4625. Then hit the pound key to finish the field, and then hit confirm. Just like that. Now we can go back out of here, and we need to select our color code. So color code, we wrote that down as being color code 4. So select color code 4, just like that. Back out of here. And just for all of you guys who are curious, P2 will back out. Now, if you're in a menu that you have to enter something, P2 is very handy because the red button will often delete. While it functions as a back button most of the time, sometimes it functions as a delete button. So you do need to remember P2 is also a back out button. Then we select the time slot, and time slot 1, it looks like it's already selected, but we will just verify that real quick. There we go, it is. Perfect, so we are pretty much set here. Now we can go back to the top, now that we've set up all of that, and click New Channel. I know it kind of seems like reverse. You'd want to make the new channel and then add everything, but we actually add everything and then create our channel. It's kind of like a save function. And you can just save it as whatever it populates here, the channel number, that doesn't matter. And now we give it a name. So which one did we do? We did the 9909, which is the parrot. Okay, so we'll give it a name here real quick. Okay. Perfect. And then we only have one zone, so we have to select zone 1, and then we'll save it. Perfect, there we go. So we have that channel saved, but at this point, let's go ahead and create another zone so we can add all these to our own zone. So, like I said, you don't have to do that, but we're going to give it a shot here real quick. So go to zones, so basically from the main radio screen, you click on menu, and then click on zone, and then add zone, and then edit. So we'll give it a name and edit channel, but let me just verify this real quick. Sometimes, as we can see here, there's a weird phenomenon that the radio will not see the new channel we just added. It only sees 1 through 8 in the zone, so it won't really let us choose that new channel. So to fix that, just go ahead and shut your radio off, and then turn it back on. Now, if you do this through the CPS, it will do that process automatically. You know, most people don't program their radios completely from the front panel. They usually just tweak little things, but you really can. There's no good reason why you shouldn't. So now we should be able to go in there to our zone, add zone, oopsies, can't hit save quite yet, and then add channel, and there we go, perfect. Now that we've restarted the radio, we see the parrot, and we've got that, perfect. And we'll select that, back out of here, and then we'll give it a name. So this, we can give it, here we go, we'll give it a fun name there. Perfect. And we can see our channel. Now we can add multiple channels to this zone, but since we don't have multiple channels yet, we're just going to leave it at that, and then go ahead and click save. So I suppose you could create all your channels before you create your zone. Just put them all in zone 1. But if you don't want to clutter up your existing zones, this is the best way I've found to get around that problem. So there we go. Now if we switch to zone, let's see, we're in VFO. So if we get out of VFO by pushing P2, now we can switch over to our fun zone, and we can see we have the parrot there. But we're not quite finished yet. Let's add the rest of them. And then there is still one more vital step we have to do before any of these will actually work. So let's go ahead and add the others real quick. So we'll go to our talk groups, or we've already added the talk groups. So all we have to do now is simply add more frequencies or more channels. So go to settings, channel set, and we should theoretically still have all of that information retained. You can double check that. We'll just do it real quick. Perfect, everything is still there. Like I said, if you haven't done anything else, it should all still be there. So really all you have to do is just hit new channel. Make sure you guys can see this. Confirm. And then this one, we'll give it a name. We can make this the Missouri channel. Perfect. Confirm that. Select our zone. Save. And this makes it so we can very easily just save it to the correct zone as we go forward. That's why I like to do it that way. Perfect. And now we'll do it yet again, a new channel, channel 11, sure, and give it a name. So this one we want to be our disconnect. So let's see here. Disc. Perfect. Put it in the fun zone we just created. There we go, it's saved. Perfect. And now, if we wanted to make sure we take the parrot out of that zone, the original zone, because we created that just so we could create our second zone, you can go ahead and click on that zone 1, and let's see here. Edit channel, and then we can go down to parrot and delete channel. There you go. Now it's been removed from that zone, but if we look at this zone here, edit channel, we still have it in there, and it will still show up on our zones here. So now we have two independent zones. We left that one that was on the radio, and you can create as many of these as you would like. I think there is a limit, but it's huge. You don't really have to worry about running out. So before we try them out, there's one more step we have to do. We have to actually select the talk groups for each of the channels. So we're on the Parrot, whichever one you're on is what we'll use here. So we can start with that one. So click on Menu, then go to Talk Group, and then Talk Group List, Parrot, and then what we want to click on is Select Contact. This is very important. If we forget this step, once again, it will not work, as with most steps. And there we go, perfect. We can back out of here. And now the Parrot should work. So we're going to use our channel knob on top, switch to the Missouri talk group. Go into Menu, Talk Group List, Missouri, and then Select Contact. Perfect. Once again, back out, and we'll go to Disconnect. Go to Menu, Talk Group List, Disconnect, Select Contact. Perfect. There we go. We're all set there. So at this point, we have added all of that information to the radio, and theoretically it'll be working at this point. Doesn't mean we haven't missed something, but let's go ahead and try it out with the Parrot. So we'll try this real quick. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG trying out the, okay. So I got it looked like it's starting to work. The talk group is working, but I got a repeater not found message. So we may have some coverage issues. Sometimes it's tough in this building, but we'll try it again here real quick. And then if that fails, we'll double check the frequency information. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG. Testing, 1, 2, 3, W3AMG. Okay, so we're getting a repeater not found. It's possible we entered in some wrong repeater information. So let's go ahead and double check that real quick. So we can simply go, turn the sound down here for you real quick, to Settings, and then Channel Set. And let's see, receive is 4444625. So our downlink is 4444625. And our uplink or transmit is 4494625. Uplink 4494625. So we have that right. Let's take a look real here at the rest of the information. So color code 4, time slot 1, we're set there. Let's make sure we have our radio ID selected. We do, we're on the right one. And let's also make sure we're on, I guess we are on the digital repeater, or else we wouldn't have the color code option. Verify that. Perfect. So it would appear as though we have the repeater set up correctly, and we know we put the talk group in there. So I'm going to restart it real quick, just since we added everything to the zone, just to verify it's possible that you have to do that to make it work correctly. So we'll try that real quick. There we go. So let's go ahead and try it again. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG trying out the Parrot on the local repeater. Okay. Didn't quite, well, we'll try it again real quick here. It looked like it was able to get out this time. It wasn't telling me repeater not found. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG trying out the local repeater. Okay, we're still getting a repeater not found. Well, sometimes these things happen. It's a great troubleshooting opportunity, so we'll keep figuring out what's going on with it. see, so go over here. Make sure our talk group, so we have our talk group list, parrot, view contact. Yep, 9909 or 9990. That's correct. That's what it should be. Let's see. Yep, so the contact's correct, contact is selected, we can see it populate. Let's see. Perfect, so let me, just out of curiosity, I'm going to go to channel set real quick. And we'll make a new channel just to test all of this. Oops. Let's see. And these things happen. Sometimes, you know, it's part of ham radio, figuring everything out. It's all part of the fun here. So we'll add that to our new zone. There we go, saving channel. Okay, so we have multiple parrots now, so we can try that new one on channel 12. Theoretically, it's the same thing, but we'll give it a shot here. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG. Okay, now it could just be a reception issue, so I'm going to step over here a little bit by the window and see if we can get any better reception. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG trying out the local repeater.
Testing 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG trying out the local repeater.
Perfect. So there you have it. There's always a few factors at play here. So make sure wherever you're doing this that you're actually in range of your repeater. Like I said, we're kind of on the outskirts here and we have trouble hitting it in the studio. And it was that simple. Sometimes it will work right here. Sometimes it will only work by the window. So make sure you're actually in range of the repeater. So there's always a fun little thing to figure out. So we did everything correctly, which is good to hear because it sure looked like we did. So now we have 2 working parrot channels. We can obviously get rid of one of them at this point. But let's go ahead and try out the Missouri talk group. See if we can get that to work. We know the parrot works now. Let's see here. I'm going to go over by the window again. This is W3AMG trying out the Missouri talk group on my local repeater here up in Missouri. Anyone out there?
KJ7NZB 3 and
no one listening.
Perfect. Had a couple people chime in there. Didn't fully catch the call sign. Let's see. Awesome, KJ7. I don't think I fully caught your call sign, but great to hear from you. Where are you located today?
this is Kilo 7 November Zulu Bravo, Jerry, in Vancouver, Washington.
November Zulu Bravo. Perfect. KJ7 in ZB. Awesome. Good to hear from you. I was up in Washington not too long ago, so that's cool. Is it a nice day up there today? I appreciate you coming back to me.
And I'm talking to you on an 878UVII. I love the radio.
Awesome. Sounds good. Good to hear it. Yeah, beautiful day out today, at least here in Missouri. So hope you're enjoying it. Great to be on the airwaves. So this is W3AMG to KJ7NZB, clear on your final.
Okay, Cody, you and the staff at Bridgecom have a great day. This is KJ7NB, clear.
Perfect, there we have it. So made a friend up in Washington, awesome. How about that? So yeah, you can't beat the excitement of getting on the air. There's nothing like it. Get to talk to people all around the country. It really is cool. Don't know what more can you ask for. But anyway, so thanks for coming back to me. I don't know if you were watching this or you just happened to be on there, but that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. It's a lot of fun. So make sure you're actually in reception of your repeater. We'll have a lot better luck that way. So do we have any questions? What are your guys' questions? Love to answer all of you guys, give you any advice or help that I can as the best of assistance I can be. Also want to let you guys know we do have a great in-house sales team. They're very knowledgeable, ham radio operators themselves, and if you have any questions like that, they're more than happy to help. So feel free to give them a call and they'll take care of you. You know, even if you're not interested in getting something, just call, ask some questions. We'll be happy to do that for you. So the number is 816-532-8451 and then press 2 for sales, and they'll take care of any of your questions about it. And go ahead and get you set up with one if that's what you're interested in. Like I said, today's the last day of our Get It Before Father's Day sale, so we have some awesome bundles and savings. We honestly don't do this very much going on right now, so it's a great opportunity and you don't want to miss out. So also, we are giving away this radio, a brand new 878 Plus, straight out the box. Not this particular one, you get a brand new one. We're giving that away this stream, so make sure you're signed up, and then we will be drawing that winner shortly. But you do have to be present to win, so don't go anywhere quite yet. So do we have any questions?
We have a question here. Can you explain again what a color code is?
Sure. We have someone asked if we could explain again what a color code is. A color code is, you know, I'm not super familiar with the technical aspect of what it is, but I know in terms of the usability aspect, think of it a little bit as like a PL tone for an analog repeater, if you're familiar with that. It basically is just something that differentiates the signals coming in. I'm sure there's some more technical guys out there that could explain what it really does and how it interfaces. But it, you know, it's almost like a little password. You just have the right color code to communicate with your repeater or your radio.
Can you explain the difference again between a private and a group call?
Oh, that's a great question. If we could explain the difference between a private and a group call. So a private call, excuse me, is really only used for, you know, talking privately to, I believe you could set up talk groups if you had a friend who also had a DMR ID. You could make a talk group with literally his DMR ID, and you could set that up as a private call, so you could literally just talk back and forth to each other's IDs. It will work that way. And it also works for the parrot. That way you're not, you know, displaying that your parrot to the entire repeater. You're just talking back to yourself. But really, pretty much all talk groups you want to be a group call, which means it's public. You're talking to the group. So really pretty self-explanatory, but you do want to make sure to get that right. But great question.
What is the recommended setting for transmit permit on digital channels to a repeater?
Ooh, that's a good question. Transmit permit. So that's a good question. I guess I'm not entirely familiar what you're talking about. I believe it may be a setting in the CPS. We didn't really cover that today with the front panel programming. I would give us a call and we'd be happy to help you out with that, explaining exactly what that does. It may be something I've explained before, but I'm not entirely familiar with what that is just off the top of my head. I know the TX prohibit, that makes it so you can't transmit, but I know what you're talking about. We can certainly get back to you on that question.
If I'm brand new to this, what is the best way to start?
So that's a great question. If you're brand new to it, what's the best way to start? So really, probably the best way is just to dive into it. You can't really go wrong with, especially with one of these AnyTone radios. You know, I mean, the 878UVII is probably your best bang for your buck, just because It has a much bigger contact list, so you're not going to be needing to buy a new one shortly after. You know, it's got lifetime left in it. It's the brand new radio, and it doesn't cost that much more. So honestly, if I'm being honest with you, it's probably the best radio to start with. It has all kinds of different features. You know, you can experiment with just about everything on DMR. And ultimately, you're going to be talking to people all around the world, just like we did today. And you know, if you don't have a lot of time on your hands, I know a lot of guys, they don't want the frustration of programming and computers. The plug and play package is a good option. Have a lot of successful people using that. You know, we do all the hard part for you, all the programming, and then you just get it and get on the air immediately.
If you have a hotspot, do you set that as the repeater frequency?
Someone asked, so if we have a hotspot, do we set it as a repeater frequency? Yeah, so if you had a hotspot, instead of setting a receive and transmit frequency, you would set just a simplex frequency. So you would have one frequency that the radio communicates to the hotspot on, but it would work just like a repeater. It would be in the same, you know, repeater frequency selection, same channel frequency.
Is there a block diagram available for manual programming?
No, unfortunately, there isn't at least to my knowledge, there isn't a block diagram available for the manual programming. Now, if you want some more info about what we talked about today, we do have show notes. They're in the description. It'll walk you through basically everything we did. So,
how do I get set up for DMR Mark?
DMR Mark. So I believe you have to have some proprietary DMR equipment for that. I'm not super familiar with it myself, but from what I recall, you can't just use any old DMR radio. So that would probably start talking to some DMR Mark experts will be the best way if you want to get into that.
Does DMR work only on the 70 centimeter band, or is it available on others such as 2 meter?
That's a great question. Yeah, DMR is it's not just available on the 70 centimeter band. You can use DMR on 2 meters, 220, you know, really anything. You know, we have a tri-band radio, the 578. I think it's down here. This bad boy right here will actually work with DMR on 2 meter, 70 centimeter, and 1.25 meter, so 220 megahertz, which is really neat. You haven't really seen much like that before, and it does it well.
How exactly do you utilize a hotspot with this radio for use on the go without a repeater?
So how you would utilize a hotspot for use on the go without a repeater. So the cool thing about the hotspots, I've got the SkyBridge down here, they will actually connect up to a Wi-Fi network. So everyone pretty much has one of these nowadays, or something similar, a little cell phone, and they actually have a Wi-Fi hotspot in them. And you can connect your SkyBridge to that, and pretty much everywhere you go, you can be using your SkyBridge and your radio to talk to people.
We have a winner.
Okay, perfect. We have a winner for this radio right here, a brand new 878 Plus, 878UVII Plus. Now don't go away just yet, because if this winner, they have to be present. So if they don't comment, we're going to draw another one. So you still want to be here at least until then. So let's see who it is.
It is Scott Heading, call sign Alpha Alpha 4 Alpha Golf.
Scott Heading, let's see, are we here? Let's see, just post in the comments if you're here, and you've won yourself a radio. So let's make sure real quick. Perfect, and don't forget, guys, make sure you sign up for the summer giveaway. It's going on right now, over $2,500 worth of ham radio gear you could win. And if you have questions, give us a call, 816-532-8451, and press 2. Let's see. Scott Heading, are you here? Let's see, we'll give you a couple minutes here. I know there's a bit of a delay in the stream. But yeah, don't go away, guys, just yet. We may have to draw another winner.
While we wait for Scott, we have some people talking about the analog features. They want to know about the analog features of the 878UVII.
Yeah, so analog features of the 878 UV2. So it will, not only is it great for DMR, it will work great for analog too. I mean, basically, pretty much any analog radio feature, it's going to have that. You can talk on analog repeaters, all your PL tones. It actually has some cool features. It's not, the 578, the mobile is dual receive, so it actually has 2 receivers, so you can receive simultaneously, which is neat. But this comes pretty close to that with it being a handheld radio. It's called dual watch. So it will actually, let's see, we may have, he may be here. We're going to find out real quick. Keep verifying. So it has dual watch, which basically allows it to listen to both channels. It's basically scanning the 2 real fast. And if activity comes in on one, it will switch over to that channel. So it's not dual receive, but it does some cool features like that. I actually use mine for analog quite a bit. It's a great little analog radio too. And it will do, the 878 series will transmit the GPS, APRS GPS data on analog as well.
He's verified.
Okay, we have a winner. Scott is verified, so congratulations. You've won yourself a brand new 878 Plus radio. This is awesome radio. You'll have a lot of fun with this. Hope to see you on the air. Congratulations. So anyway, each one of you have a chance to win at these streams as well as our other giveaway. So I appreciate all of you guys for attending. I really enjoy doing these, getting to help people. Really, that's my goal. If you have ideas, post them in the comments. We'd love to be of help to you, answer more questions in the future. So hopefully these are helpful. If you have friends who, are struggling or need some help with their radio, send them this way. We'd love to help them. So anyway, that's it for now. I appreciate each and every one of you for attending. And this is Cody, W3AMG with Bridgecom Systems 7.3.